Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to go over several of my favorite core exercises that I will frequently use in my core workouts. I won't necessarily use all of these exercises every time. It depends on how much time I have and how much work I want to put in. If I'm going to do a longer, more thorough workout, I'll include all of them, and it'll maybe take 30 to 45 minutes depending on how many sets I do. Or if I'm just trying to get a really solid workout in, I'll spend maybe 15 minutes and include 4 or 5 of these movements. And as an endurance athlete, you really can't have a core that is too strong. So doing 20 or 30 minutes of core work 2 or 3 times a week, or doing 10 or 15 minutes every day is totally worth your time. And if you have issues with deteriorating form on your longer rides or runs, if you have issues with back pain, or if you want to increase your power for high-end efforts, you really should make sure that you're hitting your core pretty solidly a few times a week and include that into just your everyday routine that you do throughout the year. If you want to establish a habit where you're doing it every day, that's great. If you're going to do it 2 or 3 or 4 times a week, I would think about doing it on your days off or your easy days. So if you do hard workouts on Wednesdays and Saturdays, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, think about doing it on the days where you would have totally off, or the days where you're just going to go out for an easy run or an easy ride, so that you can be very focused and have a lot of energy for your harder workouts when you're doing those hard intervals or your long ride or your long run. And since core work is a type of strength work, you're obviously trying to strengthen your core so that you have more power and you have more fatigue resistance. The point isn't to do a certain number of reps. The point is to have high level muscle engagement and to create a lot of fatigue. So if you do 10 push-ups really sloppily, or if you do 20 push-ups really sloppily, doing half that, but doing it very deliberately and with good form and good power is going to be more valuable to you, because it's going to be able to create a lot of kind of focused fatigue on the muscles that you're trying to work, instead of using a lot of peripheral muscles to just kind of get the job done and move through the motions. A lot of times, there's generally maybe 2 ways that you can think about doing a core workout, and that would be to count reps that you're doing, or to just go by time. So you could set a timer on your phone and just go every minute, switch from exercise to exercise and go that way. Or if you want to listen to music and listen to a podcast, but you can focus on doing good movements and do them until you start to get tired, you could do that as well. Depending on what mood I'm in, I'll do any of those 3, and I'll do 10 push-ups, 20 crunches, etc. Or I'll go by time. Or again, I'll just listen to a podcast or listen to music that I'm enjoying, and I'll just do push-ups until I get tired, do planks until I get tired, and just keep moving through the different exercises that I'm going to go through in sequence, and do however many sets I'm planning on doing. And each of those can work as long as you're just focused and you're doing good work while you're doing your workout. The worst thing you can do is to start doing your workout and then check your email, text your buddy, and get really distracted, or shuffling through different songs on your playlist. Just set it up so that you can get through your workout and get it done, and try to minimize wasted time. In this workout, you can see how I try to make things very efficient. I'm going to spend the first half of each set on my front, and then I'm going to flip over and spend most of the rest of it on my back, finishing up with some side planks and side leg raises. And that way I can minimize the amount of time that it takes to move from exercise to exercise, and just focus on doing the work with minimal rest. I'm going to start each set with push-ups. I'm going to stay in the push-up position, and then I'm going to do alternating leg raises so that I can maintain tension on my core and keep building front core strength, but I'm going to engage my lower back and my glutes to help increase my resistance to twisting forces that are at play when you're running or riding. That's really important. I'm going to stay in the push-up position. I'm going to do some slow mountain climbers, and rather than doing them quickly as a cardiovascular and core workout, I'm going to focus just on doing them very slowly and getting high-level muscle engagement while I'm doing them. So it's kind of like it's more like a plank, but with the twisting forces, because you're alternating keeping one leg on the ground and pulling one knee up towards your chest. I'm going to lay down on the ground. I'm going to do some back extensions. I'm going to do some more leg raises, single leg raises to engage my glutes and lower back, because that's an issue for me. I'm going to flip over. I'm going to do some crunches, some flutter kicks, some bicycle crunches, single leg bridges, again to help with stability for all of those. I'm going to do some side planks and some side leg raises. And sometimes I'll also include Russian twists, but I'm not going to do that today. And you can do all those with no equipment, just body weight, just some room on the ground. And I wanted to add a little bit of a commentary on the side leg raises. A lot of people runners and cyclists, but especially runners, have issues with their IT bands, and they get tightness or soreness that is either exactly on their IT band or results from having a tight or weak IT band or hip. And doing things like side leg raises is probably one of the best things you can do to reduce or eliminate pain. Definitely if you have an issue or if you know that you're tight, doing some stretching, doing some foam rolling, or using a stick type device to do some self-myofascial release and kind of like massage out your muscles can be very valuable, especially if you know that you have a history of injury. But rather than addressing an issue once it's already there, or trying to mitigate an issue that is pre-existing, it's much better if you can strengthen and maintain flexibility and prevent that issue from coming up in the first place. And at least for IT band issues, side leg raises are probably the best thing that you can do if you're only going to do one thing to help strengthen and reduce the chance of getting those types of issues. Along similar lines, definitely strengthening your hip generally, so doing single leg bridges, for example, or doing clamshell exercises, either just body weight or with a resistance band, can be very helpful for that. Okay, so that was my first set, and I'm going to go to two more. And one thing I wanted to offer, just as a thought as I was doing this, was that if you're just starting out, just pick one or two exercises to hit the front of your core, one or two to hit your back, and one or two to hit your obliques or the side of your core. So doing like side planks or Russian twists or something that just has some twisting motion, and just keep it as simple as you need to get it done, and as simple as possible so you can just like keep track of it. And again, if you just did 3 or 4 exercises every day before breakfast or every other day, just start and establish a habit and get into a routine. And then later on, if you find that you feel like you could hit different muscle groups a little bit harder, or you just want to mix it up and find some different exercises, definitely just do what you can to like get into a routine and do it regularly. And one thing that I really like is that if you're an endurance athlete and you're, let's say, running or riding 3 or 4 or 5 days a week, just do core work on your days off, so that every day, whether it's like before breakfast or on your lunch break before you have lunch, like just do something to get your body moving and get a little bit of endorphins and get a little bit of normalization with your hormones, and just you'll feel better and have more energy. And especially for so many of us that have desk jobs or jobs where we're like sitting at a computer, most of the time, or maybe you have a standing desk and you alternate between sitting and standing, like so many of us would have like much better posture and much less back pain and much more ability to do other things like, pick up kids or carry groceries or whatever it is, and just feel better doing it. No matter what your athletic goals are or priorities, just trying to get in a little bit of a core routine, at least a few times a week is totally worth the, 30, 40, 60 minutes of time that you might be doing that. That's it. I'm going to go to the next set and just keep doing my routine. Okay, so that's my workout for today, or my core workout rather. Even with talking, stopping and taking a break to talk for a second, I think that was just over 40 minutes for me. And I had 3 sets of a few different exercises. Push-ups, alternating leg raises in the push-up position, slow mountain climbers, back extensions, leg raises while in the back extension position, on my belly. I flipped over, did some crunches, some flutter kicks, bicycle kicks, single leg bridges, side planks, and side leg raises. And, that's like pretty much all that I often will include. I don't think I'll usually do anything more than that, except for maybe get some dumbbells and do some like squats or some bent over rows or some shrug exercises and just like hit some other muscle groups. But for like just hitting the core, that's a great set of exercises. There's other ones that you can easily find online. You could do half of that and it would be a good session. And obviously this was like a longer workout. Normally I'm probably doing it for like 20 or 30 minutes at the most. And usually, I'll be listening to music or a podcast or something to help pass the time and keep it fun and interesting. But find whatever works for you, and by all means just do anything you can to like get into a routine, even if all you do is start with like 2 sets of crunches before breakfast 3 times a week. Like just getting the ball rolling and getting started on establishing that habit is going to be worth its weight in gold in the long run. And don't rely on your sense of motivation and your feeling that you like want to do something. If you want it, if it's valuable to you, just like try to see how you can create a routine around it and make a habit out of it so that you just do it without thinking about it. And the more we can do things that we want to be doing without thinking about it, the better off we'll be. Likewise, if you're doing things without thinking about it that are not helpful, maybe try to recognize that and try to reset the routines that you have, because so much of what we do is just out of habit and routine and not out of any deliberate thought or the sense of agency or volition. Like so much of what we do is just out of habit and routine. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.